Should I do like an intro or something?
My name is Sandra.
You are really good with intros. Okay, we're here with Alex and Tim to do a little Q&A, and I'm going to shoot some questions at you. And the first one is carb loading important?
Yes.
Definitely.
Tell me more. Why?
You need to have energy to race, and therefore you need to have, there are two sources of energy, glycogen and fats, and glycogen comes from carbs. So if you want to produce it, you need to eat carbs.
And how much carb loading would you do? Like how far in advance do you start prepping? Is it like a day before or a week before, or what's the usual?
Usually you eat carb like every day. Most of the people eat carb every day, but the idea is like to increase the carb, the quantity. I would say at least 1 week before. Like 1 day before it's not useless, but it will not allow you like to stock a lot. So starting like 1 week before the race is, I think, a good idea.
Yeah, key thing is when you carb load, you need to drink a lot. Because like for 1 gram of carbs, you need like 3 grams of water just to create glycogen. So make sure you drink. Being hydrated is super important, but even more so for carb loading.
Nice one. That's the fact I didn't know 1 day prior to the race.
But you drink a lot.
I do drink a lot.
Yeah.
I do drink a lot. What's your in-race fueling strategy?
Carbs.
Basically, I think that tomorrow I will eat between 6 and 8 gel. Each contains 30 grams of carbs.
If you look at timing, do you have like a specific timing you're following? Like every 30 minutes, 45, 1 hour?
Yeah, it's around 25. At the beginning, it's every 25 minutes, and then I start maybe changing depending on how my stomach feels.
Every 20 for me. 20 minutes, 30 grams of carbs, that's 91 hour. So yeah, that's my sweet spot for running.
But if you never do it, please don't do it tomorrow.
That's what I
Otherwise,
was just thinking. Like, I think my stomach is not trained enough
you need
to...
to train your gut. It takes like years. So you should start around like 40-50 grams of carbs per hour and then like ramp up. And in training, you can definitely, train around 60-70 and then up to even 150 grams and then find what works for you.
How can you improve your racing pace?
Consistency, I would say. And I think maybe for like new runner, don't try to run fast. Just run a little every week. Increase the mileage little by little, and it will come at some point.
If you can run, even once a week, but do it every week for 100 weeks, it's much better than like doing 10 runs in 1 week and then stopping for 3 months. So definitely being consistent, and then mileage comes into play as well.
Do you have a strategy if you feel a mental load during the race?
Being prepared, like if I know it's a big race for me, then I'll try to break it down beforehand and like know where I could be, struggling, bonking and so on. So at least if I know about like a specific place in the race or like a specific time where it can become difficult and I have like a mental view of it, I can maybe overcome it easier. Every race is different, so there's no one strategy that can help you for everything.
I like the idea of mapping out the run though, because like last year I didn't, and this year I already know where I will struggle. And it's nice to mentally prepare for that.
And also I split the race. I mean, for me, a marathon it's not just like 42 kilometers. It's like 4 times 10 kilometers plus at the end like 2 more kilometers.
Something that doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah. and then for me, it's easier to say, okay, run until the next 10K, and then run again until the next 10K, then run 42K.
And for that, even like the nutrition strategy helps a lot, because you can also break down things like in a few different ways and have like, small goals within the race. Like every 20 minutes you have a gel. That's a small thing that you need to do and that keeps you like kind of alive during the race. So you have those small like milestones and you just check them one by one, kilometers, 10Ks, nutrition, and yeah.
The next questions are going to be a little bit more sciencey. The first one is, what's the most fascinating scientific aspect of a marathon, such as the body's adaptation during a long race? That goes deep.
I would say that, okay, this is like kind of like really pushing the scientific thing, but the body basically have different fueling sources, and training helps you basically become more economic in terms of the oxygen you use for fueling your systems, basically. And that's probably like the most fascinating thing. Like your body basically is kind of an engine, and it burns less fuel when you become more efficient and you become more economic in a way. Yeah, that's for me, that's really fascinating, because it means like you can really change the way your body behaves over a certain distance, and training does that.
Can you explain the role of nutrition and hydration in marathon running from a scientific perspective?
Yeah, so basically you have a certain amount of glycogen stored in your liver and in your muscles, and once you deplete that, then your body goes like, how do I fuel myself? So that's where fueling yourself with carbs during the race helps to like stay at a certain glucose level and then provide for energy again. And what you have in your liver and muscles can help you run for an hour, basically, a bit less, a bit more, depending on the size of your liver and the storage you have in your muscles, which is very personal again. But once you deplete that, then you can use a bit of fat, but at marathon pace, fat isn't that the primary source.
Yeah, no, I
Oh, really?
so.
Are there any specific wearable technologies or gadgets you use to track your running data and performance metrics?
I mean, we all have a watch, and we're racing with the same soon to race watch, it's called, the three of us. But then the power sensor called Stride is what we use, Tim and I.
What advice can you give on avoiding injuries during training, considering the science of biomechanics and recovery?
Recovery is good here because I think we didn't touch upon it. And fueling also comes into play after a run. And basically your muscle tissues are being broken during a training session or in general when you work out, and trying to provide for, repairing them as soon as you can. So eating proteins and again, some carbs after a session within 2 hours once you're done, ideally even within half an hour. That's the best way of restoring your energy levels and repairing the tissues in the end. And don't be like afraid to take rest days, even rest weeks after a big event that you have. After a marathon, there's no shame in like not running for 3 weeks. And that's also what your body needs, because it's like a big stress on the body.
And somehow, like personally, I struggle with taking recovery days and weeks, but every time I take them, I get out of them so much stronger.
But there are definitely ways of like also staying active and feeling good, even on rest days, like, doing a yoga session like you do, or like doing something that makes you feel active. Even a walk can help. But yeah, running isn't the only thing you can do to make you feel good. Okay,
these ones are a bit more personal now. What's the most memorable moment you've shared as teammates off the track?
Yeah,
Most memorable.
we've done some shit together, but let's not go there. I think traveling for races is unique, and we are very lucky to do it. And there's not like one memory I have, but even this year we were super lucky to travel and race in different countries with you as well. And I think that's great memories that stay forever.
Yeah.
What's a personal mantra or motto that motivates you, both in running and in life?
I like one that I probably took from someone, but I don't know whom. If you recognize yourself, claim it. It's like, be patient, be ruthless.
I'm not a patient person, so this is not my mantra for sure. For me, going harder and harder is a way of like living, and just like, live your life. You have just one, so if you like to go harder, go for it.
I like that. I have to say, like, every time I'm on a run, I have this mantra in my mind that goes, the faster you run, the faster you're done. And I keep saying that, and it really helps me.
Yeah. The last 2 kilometers of a marathon, this is something you can like think about. Like, run faster, it will end faster. Yeah.
Nice
That's
one.
Good.
Thank you, guys. That was
Thank
fun.
Thank you so much, Sandra.